Good. I'm coming to you live from my parents' home where I'm at for the weekend. So hence the heavy wood from the 90s background.
This room looks very like judicial.
It does.
It's giving like Supreme Court justice.
I should go upstairs. My parents still have like all of they have like a section of the house where they still have trophies or like awards and stuff from when I was in high school. And the only awards I got were for debate, basically. But they used to give us little gavels as the award. So I should go get one of those gavels and pretend I'm,
You
full
should.
Supreme Court justice mode.
That's so fun. You really should. Sorry, I looked away for a sec. I was gonna go live on Instagram for like 2 minutes and then hope that people come over here because I want all the traffic to go to here as opposed to Instagram. But maybe I'll just like tap the live button at some point and then untap it and
It's all you. I don't know how to do any of that stuff.
technicalities that our devoted audience members like Tracy Manor
Yeah.
don't need to hear about. My mom is watching this too
Oh,
live. So hi mom, thank
hi.
you for joining.
Hi, Auntie. I hope you are staying warm and prepared for what is going to be a crazy snowstorm.
Is it going to snow in Houston?
No, we have potential for freezing rain. So for us, like we
Mm.
just need to wrap our pipes and like drip our faucets so that havoc doesn't
Gosh.
happen in the home. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that is a really foreign concept to me. I don't think that my parents ever did that on the East Coast growing like I don't know. It's
I wonder. Uh, okay. I'm about to talk about something I have zero knowledge in, which is very, very in line with the
fine.
2 a.m. reckoning. But I
We do
wonder
that
if
all the
it's
time.
because the homes in Houston aren't like designed for that weather. So the pipes, like the outside water pipes and stuff, don't have any insulation. I'm
Probably.
guessing that in parts of the country where you get cold weather all the time, they do. So we literally used old t-shirts and old kitchen towels to wrap the pipes. So we will see how that holds up.
Wow. 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 Okay. Okay. Well, I'll be praying for you from here. Hoping for the best. Hoping for the
Thank
best for
you.
everyone. I know, California people, it's a total cliche to talk about the weather and how great it is in January, but I really cannot complain. I feel pretty grateful this weekend to it's like sunny and 70 something outside and yeah, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah.
We're going to start with some things that we are loving. So, and I have to scroll back through our text to even remember what did I say I was loving? Ooh, yes. Well, I went there for dinner last night.
Yeah.
Uh, Doto, which is in the space that used to occupy Jewel used to be there, and we've gone
Oh,
to Jewel.
yeah. So it's really, yeah, that's a great location.
Yeah, very very close to home and it just I wrote about them in my latest eater column. They have a bento box that I mean, look, back to like Plumtree days,
Love a bento box.
love a bento box. I'd actually love to go back to Ithaca and have that Plumtree bento box again and see if it like lives up to my
So
memory
what we
or
thought was just like an incredible meal when we were 21 years old. That's
yes.
actually a fun concept. Just do we know if Plum Tree still exists?
I believe it's still open. I feel like I looked this up not too long ago and it is like maybe a year ago and I think it is still open.
Okay. So yeah, that would be kind of fun because Plumtree, Sangam, which was the Indian restaurant that we went to like every weekend for their
Sangam would be
brunch
cool.
buffet. Uh yeah, there were a few spots there that were like, yeah, that were so good. Well, at least we
That
thought they were really good.
yes, yes. I mean, and Plumtree was also like a like that would be a relatively extravagant night out. Like
I would blow like a third of my monthly budget on food there, which would be like a $65 meal.
when I think about the sake bombs that we used to, like just like how blatantly disrespectful and like completely. But I guess I don't know. I hope that I'm hoping if they're still in business now that they made enough money off of our idiot asses to continue to be in business for 20 years after the fact.
I
And
I don't know who came up with the concept of a sake bomb. I also have not done one, and maybe since then, maybe it's been 25 years. But
yeah.
yeah, I feel very bad for wait staff that have to deal with tables after sake bomb. Good grief.
But yes, so Doto, on the other hand,
Oh,
a
exactly.
place where
Yeah.
you cannot, maybe in theory you could do a sake bomb, but I think they would look at you like you had three heads. Um, it's just so, it got me thinking about how nice it is to be a regular somewhere. Like, I love trying out new restaurants. I love going to someone else's favorite place, but that whole, like, the Cheers idea, like a place where everybody knows your name is, I don't know, it's kinda underrated in our, like, culture of, like, what's new, what's next, like, what's the hot new thing. I don't think these, like, places that are just, they're churning out like, relatively affordable meals that I could go there for, like, 3 or 4 meals a week and have something different every time and not break the bank, and the people are friendly and the music is good and there's a vibrant patio, and it's just great. And I am here for the return of being a regular at a restaurant.
Yeah, I love that. I don't think I've ever had a restaurant where, like, I've gone that regularly to where they know me. I have that at coffee shops. I've had that before at bars where, they would know my regular order, but not at a restaurant really. I love that too. It's also just there's so many factors that come into play, but, like, it has to be somewhere that you're in close proximity to, 'cause that or at least that is convenient to get to, because that, of course, like, improves the chance of you going there regularly. Like you said, it has to be somewhere that relatively affordable and has a varied enough menu to where, you can, like, try different things unless there's something that you love. But I like that a lot. I like the idea of just, like, having that kind of even just if you go to dinner by yourself, like, having that rapport with the staff and being able to just, like, enjoy a meal and like, have it be reliable and easy.
I know it is really, yeah, when we talk about community and something that it's a word that is used a lot and used in a lot of different ways, and in some ways is, I think, overused in the wrong way. But when we think about online communities, that's one thing. When we think about, like broader, like, who, the community of our neighborhoods in Houston or Los Angeles, also a larger thing. But I think that something that I felt was missing in my life a bit over the past couple of years has been, like, just that notion of, like, the person that you see when you're getting your coffee in the morning, or the person that you, like, pass by, like, on your morning walk every day. I think in New York City, where people are much more close together, it's, like, really easy to have that and not even, and, like, almost take it for granted and not realize the impact that it has on you to just see familiar faces and have those, like, touchstones of people who, they may not know your name, you may not know theirs, but, like, you know each other's faces, and
Totally.
there's something comforting about that. And yeah, I've tried to make an active effort upon realizing, like, that's actually, it wasn't really New York I was missing, it was, like, that. It was that sense of, like, where are my people where I can't find them? And, of course, you're not gonna really find them if you're just, like, in your house all day looking at a screen.
Exactly. Yeah, like, I think cities also that are more walking friendly, like, that just happens more naturally because you find the, like, coffee shop near your house that's on your way to work, you find the, like, cafe or grocery store, whatever it is that's, like, convenient, and you're just, like, literally out there interacting in those spaces most days, whereas now this is the other problem with, like, Uber Eats, Instacart, like, you really can do everything, and if you're trying to, like, cook from home more and whatever, save money, like, you can just end up doing everything from your house and actually not stepping outside, which is a problem.
It's a, yeah, good thing. It can be a good thing, can also be a really bad thing. But
Yeah.
okay, I want to hear about the thing that you're loving right
Thing
now.
that I'm loving right now in this weather, I am loving sheet masks, the paper masks on your face. Do
Wow.
you use these?
So there was that brand that was selling them that was like they were relatively affordable. You could get like 6 of them. It was one of the Korean skincare brands, and they came in like cucumber and aloe, and like they were very
Mhm.
yes. So I've done those.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The brand that I'm really loving right now is called Biodance. You should get them. The masks are like
Biodance.
Biodance. It's like a pink box. I think it's on Amazon. I don't know how much it is, but I got them when I was on a trip to when I was in Seoul a few months ago, and
Mm.
they like go on like super smooth. I think you wear them for 2 to 3 hours. So it is like
Oh,
you're
wow.
you can even sleep in them. So it's like a whole like,
I'm gonna look this up.
process. I wore mine while I was reading Incidentals. That was my like sort of self-care and self-care on the face
Good.
and the mind kind of moment. But yeah, it's they're so great. Skin feels amazing, super hydrated, glass, the whole vibe. And the thing about it that's really cool is it's like it feels luxury, but you're just doing it at home, which, of course, to our previous point, takes away from community, but is also very convenient.
Yes.
Um, and in this weather is really good. When I was in Seoul, one of the women I talked to at like I don't know, it's like some kind of aesthetic, sort of like a med spa. They have these
Mm.
assembly line med spas. But the consultant there who like looks at your skin and does an assessment, of course, she was like, your skin is very dehydrated. That's not surprising. I don't drink enough water. Um, but she was saying that in Korea, the women that at least she knows use one of those paper sheet masks every day, which is like,
Really?
yeah, really, really interesting. Because I'm over here like stingy, like saving them for like this like once a week luxury experience. But yeah, she said that they use them every day. So maybe one day I will get to that level of frequency. But right now, I'm enjoying it as like a Sunday activity.
I guess it's so I have the is it called Laneige
Mhm.
water hydrating sleep mask, which you kind
Mhm.
of like you spread I like to do it before a long flight. You do it over your face, and then like you don't put anything else on, and then you wash it off in the morning or after several hours. Like, what is the difference between that and obviously a mask, I guess you have like a barrier between this like the outside world and your skin.
Yeah, again, let me just talk about something I have zero expert knowledge in, but, like, I think just, like, I think there's more quantity. I mean, obviously, like, the mask itself is drenched in, like, whatever serums and good for your skin products that are on there, and so when you are putting it on there, it's literally just
Mm,
getting soaked into your skin at probably a larger quantity than if you were just, like, spreading something on your face.
sure. Makes sense.
But yeah, I love them, and I feel like in this weather, they are particularly, like, valuable to preventing, all the cracking and dull skin.
I might have some upstairs. I know when Nikhil he went to Seoul for his bachelor party, he brought back
He went to Seoul for his bachelor party?
it was
Seriously?
yeah, it was the year, I mean, this was 2018, yeah, and, I think that was sort of the height of like, "We're gonna travel, we're like, who can travel the farthest? Who can do the most ridiculous destination with not necessarily he didn't want the most amount of people, and I think I think it ended up no, maybe being, like, 10 or 12 guys.
That's
Yeah,
and how long was it? Like,
a
if you're going to
weekend.
they went to Seoul for a weekend?
Yeah, maybe it was 4 days. Maybe it was 4 days, but I wanna say it was, like, 3 one of those days included travel. I think they were on the ground for, like, 3 days.
Oh my god, yeah, wow, that's
I
something.
know. I mean, one of our mutual friends did his bachelor party that year or maybe the following year in Tokyo. Um, that was that was what was
I'm
happening.
totally floored because, like, that is okay. I mean, like, I get it, like, after a certain point, if you're when you're in a certain age range and you're going to tons of weddings and bachelorette parties, like, the Miamis and the Vegases can sort of feel like, okay, we just went there, like let's do something else. But like then maybe you go, I don't know, to like Cancun or I but like Seoul is wow. That's
I think that we can say I agree with you, and I can say that now from the, the perspective of where we are, 8 years later. But I think that because now that sounds like way too much. That's just like the jet lag alone for 4
that's
I mean,
yes.
we went to Tokyo. You and I went to Tokyo for like 5 days, and you saw what happened to me. I
You
got, like,
barely
sick.
left the hotel.
I was in bed. I was like, I have a fever. My Aura ring says that I'm sleeping. I was a complete mess that trip. Um, not re- and yeah, not
Do
recommended for a
not do
variety of
back-to-back international trips. Well,
yeah.
if if you still have those masks, I don't know if 8 years
That's
later they're
I don't
worth
think they're
I think
good. I
it
don't
might
think
be
they're good
due
anymore.
yeah, you might be due for a bathroom clean out if you still have them. That's a different story, but yeah, I will send you the link on Amazon. We should get you some new ones that will not ruin your skin.
Yes, and you know what? We'll post it in the show notes for this episode too. So
Yeah,
yes. Yes,
buy a damn face mask.
send it over. Okay, so that is stuff that we are loving.
Cool thing
Our
you did recently.
cool thing we did recently.
You've
Yes.
done yours is really cool. Start with yours. Mine's extra cool, but mine's a different kind of cool.
So cool thing I did recently, on Tuesday, I moderated is not the right word. I interviewed Selma Blair, the actress. You may know her from Cruel Intentions, as well as many other movies,
That's
where
great.
her memoir, it's Mean Baby, right? Which is on my list of Mean Baby, a memoir of growing up. I once I finish Night People, I want to start listening to that because I think it's probably really good. Um, I interviewed her at a conference of travel advisors who all work for this company called Smart Flyer, which is I've got a lot to say about Smart Flyer and the return of travel agents and especially among, I think, our generation, where we thought that like we can do it all with Yelp and Instagram and TikTok, and like we can source all of our own intel, and we don't need someone to tell us where to go and what to do. I'm completely on the other side of the spectrum now, where I'm like, no, tell me where to go and what to do, because I can't. I mean, and I do this for a living too, so it's a slightly different situation, but I mean, the trip that Nikhil and I did to the Cotswolds in over the holidays was planned by Smart Flyer because
And they
I
do everything. Like, they'll tell you or do they do hotels and activities?
they'll do hotels, they'll do activities. If you want them to do flights, they'll do flights. They have an app that like with a constantly updating itinerary of like here's what the next thing is, and you can, kind of consult it as often as you want. But yeah, they can be as hands-on or as hands-off as you want.
Love
But which I'm writing about this in the rise of this, and so once I'm done with that, I think I'll have a lot more to say there. But for the purposes of this, the cool thing was, I'm because I've known them for a long time. I actually met the now chief operating officer of Smart Flyer in a swimming pool in Cartagena in 2021.
I was like, "Were you there for a bachelorette party?"
It would make sense. No, this was the 2 days after New Year's. It was like, yeah, 2 days after New Year's Day, or the day after New Year's Day, 2021. Nikhil and I had booked a last minute trip to Colombia, to Cartagena for New Year's because
Why
like
not?
COVID was not at the time. It was like, oh, COVID's over. It was like very much not. But it was safe you could fly again. Certain countries were open. Um, and you know us, we were just like, gosh, we haven't been on a plane in like 6 months. What is going on? We need to let's go. So we go down to Cartagena, and we had a great like kind of beach New Year's Eve, went on a boat New Year's Day. checked into another hotel, get in the pool. There were only two other people in the pool, and it turned the two other people were this woman, Irina, who's now the COO of Smart Flyer, and a man named Kyle, who I at the time he was working for Smart Flyer. I'm not sure if he still does, but yeah, and we just hit it off. They invited us to go to dinner with them. And now years later, she asked if I would interview Selma Blair, who is an advocate for accessible travel, on stage at this conference. And it's really, I don't know how many people know that Selma is was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis several years ago. And she talked about how travel has really helped her both like nervous system wise, in terms of just opening her eyes to new experiences and beautiful places and interesting people, and how much that has been a part of her managing this condition. And in it, of course, she has a lot of traditional therapies. She was on stage with her support dog, Scout, who was
Mm.
so sweet and such a calming presence. But it was really it was great, and it was so, we hear all the time about the transformative power of travel, and I think that sometimes it seems like cliche, that phrase, or it seems like, oh, that's just like marketing from the travel industry. And sometimes it is, but I hearing her talk about it, it really felt like, no, this travel has actually transformed this person for the better.
Awesome. That's
And
great. I
so
mean,
that's great.
I saw some of the videos you posted on Instagram, some of the stories, and first she looks amazing. I almost didn't recognize her at first because she has, at least it looked like she has blonde hair now.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, she's blonde now. Yeah, yeah.
but I love that. And I love that she was able to provide that perspective of someone who, has gotten something different out of travel than maybe she would have years ago before she was diagnosed with this condition. Yeah, that's okay. That's really cool. I wanted you to go first because yours is like glitzy glam. Mine is glitzy glam, but like in a personal way because it's glitzy glam for you. But my cool thing is that I finished my best friend, your third novel, Incidentals, which is so good. Oh my God, I loved it. It was like I read it in a weekend. It it was, I just don't know. It was so good. It was like relatable. I think I described it as like relatable, but also it's like the perfect balance between being relatable and escapism. The characters, like some of their struggles, some of the things that they are going through are very relatable, but then the setting and some of the plot lines are very much like fantasy, escapism, like just juicy, good stuff. It was so good. I loved it.
I'm so happy to hear you say that. I'm also like disassociating a little bit because and telling myself don't do that, because it can be really, I don't know if you're like this too, when you hear nice
Yeah.
things about your work where you're
So
just like, I don't know how to process this. I don't know how to take this. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. What is my face supposed to do? Like it anyway. that
yeah, you
that
get used to it
happens.
because you're going to be hearing a lot of that after the book. The book comes out March 31st. Is that right?
March
2 months.
31st.
Okay, a little more than 2 months. Yeah, I thought it was so good. At first, it also just made me want to go. I texted you. The first thing I texted you, I think, was like, we need to go to the Maldives immediately because I've never been there before, and it just, I'm sure, is as incredible. I mean, I've obviously seen photos of it, but you did such good job describing it. So yeah, I'm really excited for this to come out in the world and for people to make you feel very uncomfortable by telling you how much they loved it and you having to figure out how to react.
Well, on that note, and in the spirit of manifestation for 2026, I will say that there is a tiny chance that I will have a book party in the Maldives. And an open invite to any resort who wants to have a couple, or not a couple, well, let's call it a group of 20 something, who knows, maybe even more. we've got the book will be out everywhere. It'll be available in the Maldives. It'll be available in India, which is very close to the Maldives, Dubai, throughout the Middle East, Europe, Asia, of course, America. Anyway, all sorts of people are going to have
Right.
access to this book. And I think we should have a really fabulous party in an overwater bungalow. And yeah, like what a place. And we can do a book talk. We can have a
Yes.
discussion. Yes.
I mean, say less. But I also love this full circle moment of going from like a 2018 bachelor party in Seoul to a 2026 book party in the Maldives. But yeah, that would be incredible, incredible.
Wouldn't
And
that be
yeah, like
incredible? Okay, so let's stay tuned.
it is. It's. I've never been to. I don't. No, I've never been to it. Obviously, remember like a place with the like overwater bungalows and the the way that it's described is exactly like what I'm imagining, we would experience if we were to go there. But I love, the concept of it being like, how do you fly there actually? Where do you fly to?
So from LA, you can fly to Dubai or Singapore. Those are the most popular flight paths, and then you connect in Singapore or
Oh,
Dubai or the Middle East, Doha, Abu Dhabi, yeah, and then you connect there. And from both Singapore and the Middle East, it's about a 4-hour flight.
okay. That's not bad.
It's not terrible. I mean, it's far, but most people who go there are going for I think that you should go for a week because at least like once you get over the jet lag and just yeah, you want like at least 5 days like there to kind of soak things up. The other thing though about the Maldives is that it's not really easy to resort hop, so it's kind of wherever you're going is probably where you're going to stay for the duration. Which is fine, but it also means that like yeah, I mean some people, even I will say that the resorts where I've stayed in the Maldives, particularly Joali, which is the resort that the fictional Jala is based
Hmm.
on.
Hmm.
I could be at Joali for a month and not get I would be so happy. I would be absolutely delighted to be there for a month. I
Well,
would not
maybe
get
we can do a month-long book party.
bored.
That sounds fabulous. No, I just loved it so much. And I like okay, we'll have to talk about it again at the book
Yes.
party, but then also
Yes.
talk about it again as we get closer to like the publication date. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was so good. That
I'm
was my
so glad.
weekend. And it was great.
I'm so glad you loved it. Okay, the thing that we are figuring out, I think we're both figuring it out. We're
Or at
both
least
figuring it
discussing.
out.
Yes, yes. Go for it.
So I don't know. Did you know about this before I texted you?
The Zarna Garg interview.
Yeah.
Yes, I had seen it in all over Instagram and TikTok, like
So
a few weeks ago. It's kind of
somehow
old.
because it happened in November. I think that interview was like November 30th. And it completely passed me by. I did not I don't know. I don't even know how. You know what? I stumbled across another creator's reel yesterday where he was talking about how it was like, oh, it's happening. Zarnagarg is being canceled. I was like, wait, what? Did my research. For anyone who is unfamiliar, Zarna Garg is a Indian Indian American comedian. She was born in India. She came to the US. She had 3 children, was a stay-at-home mom for a long time, and then just about I think 6 or 7 years ago, started doing comedy gigs, and her like was egged on by her children who said, "Mom, you're so funny. You should really do something with this." She lives in New York City with her family, and they encouraged her to perform at like Caroline's Comedy Club and all of these like the Comedy Cellar. She developed a following. She started opening for Amy Poehler and Tina Fey on their most recent tour. She has an Amazon special, and it was maybe about like a year and a half ago or maybe 2 years ago that I saw her Amazon special and was like, I want to write about this woman. This is so like how cool
Hmm.
that an Indian mother, not unlike our own mothers, who like your mother, of course, worked, but they were raising children and finding their way in this new country, and like how cool that she has this second act and she's become this really lauded and successful comedian.
Yeah.
um and I'm like, that is still really impressive. I think that is a really like I fully support people having second acts, third acts, whatever they are. So
And also
I
very, very unique and cool that her Indian like identity is such a part of her act, right? Everything from
Yes.
like what she talks about to what she wears. She's like very much embracing her Indian culture into her act, which is also very cool.
It is really cool. And I know other Indian immigrants who actually don't find her funny because they say that her comedy is reductive and it's too leans
Hmm.
too much on the like mother-in-law stereotypes and the prioritizing sons over daughters, and if my kid's not a doctor or an engineer then I've failed, and that sort of kind of like
Very
comedy
stereotype. Yeah, very much rooted in stereotypes. Yeah, for sure.
is stereotypical, like sort of like model minority comedy.
Mhm.
And I totally understand that. And like comedy is such a specific you like what you like. That's what it is. But so Zarna and her daughter Zoya were guests on the Daily Beast. It was a Daily Beast podcast, I believe. And they were being interviewed about the current presidential administration and their thoughts on a variety on both Donald Trump and Usha Vance. And the thing, several parts of this interview really got under my skin. The thing that I, m- well, the first thing I'll bring up, the notion that Sarna's daughter brought up of how Usha Vance is a person to be idolized is aspirational because she is dating or married to a white man. I'm just
Well, she
like,
said American, an American, which is
American,
also
sorry.
a problem in and of itself because you don't have to be white to be American.
That is yes, yes. And I'm just like, what year is it? What like my I, you know, I can't even, my first boyfriend was an American guy. Like, yeah, that's right. The whole notion of like white equaling American, entirely other problem. Um, but my first boyfriend was white. My second boyfriend was white. I have had crushes on plenty of white guys throughout my life. The notion, at no point did it ever occur to me to like that part being aspirational. It just boggles my mind. It boggles my mind that and I don't even I just oof. And I have a problem with it. I have a big problem with it.
And what I so to be fair, I've not actually watched the interview. I've kind of seen clips, like the full interview. I've seen some of the clips that have been stitched with like commentary.
I
Um
haven't either.
and
I've the
okay,
same thing.
and that piece is like one of the little snippets I've seen. But like, was there any context to it? Like, was she talking about, because was she talking about Usha Vance? Like, what was the context? Was she just like going off on why she thinks Usha Vance is like so impressive, and that being that she's with an American guy? Was that it, or was it? Did it have to do with like anything else? I
So I
don't get
think
it.
my understanding is that it was in the context of so Zarna also during this interview says, Indian Americans really like Trump. They're fans of Trump. They don't have a problem with him. In India, all of our politicians are corrupt, so we get it. It's they're all liars, like of course. So who cares what he says? It doesn't really matter. And
She also said some horrible things about like immigration and like like Indian, like again, very, very, very inaccurate, just broad generalizations about how the Indian American community feels about immigration. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
really,
so cringe, like so
really
bad.
problematic stuff, and, on one level, I can, she is a comedian. She is not a source of news. She does not speak for this entire community. No single Indian American person speaks for the entire community. That's not true. That being said, they were given this platform, or they were being interviewed as if they did, in a way that, and the interviewer was sort of like kind of arching her eyebrow and being like, "Really? It's interesting that you're saying these things because they are so counter, I think, to the first of all, I mean, and this is what we were texting about earlier, the notion that Indian Americans are a monolith, that we're all voting one way, that we all feel one thing is so damaging and wrong that and if that's sort of, if she meant it in jest, if that's like, oh, that's like I'm a comedian, haha, it's like supposed to be a joke. I could sort of buy that and be like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, she is a comedian, but I don't know.
And that's
I
not,
don't
I mean,
know.
no one, obviously none of us thought it was funny. Like
No, it
it's
wasn't.
not really something to joke about. And I, again, having not seen the full interview, but acknowledge, like, what she said is incredibly problematic. And this idea that it's it's just also particularly, I don't know, like eye roll worthy to have someone who is a Hollywood celebrity. I mean, she's had an Amazon special. She is like opening for Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, like two of the biggest comedians in our day right now. And to have someone like that also talk about, like, it's just like, of all of the people who's gonna claim to understand and know what Indian Americans sort of are feeling and thinking, to have someone like that think that she is in any way in a position to, like, speak about a community is sort of ridiculous. But the bigger point is that the monolith, like, the idea that we are a monolith, that any group is a monolith, is, like, equally problematic, and, when talking about politics is, like, just so wrong. So, so, so wrong, and I'm glad she got called out for it. I mean, the
Yeah.
fact that, like, I'm not even on social media, like, that much, and the fact that it's been a couple of months, but that, like, in November, December, I was seeing things pop up with people rightfully calling her out, like, I'm glad that that happened. And I don't
There are
think
a
she
lot of
apologized or said anything about it, or has she? I don't know.
I don't believe she said anything about it, which, I forget who, some famous person once said, "Never apologize, never explain." Like, just keep it moving. Which excuse me, 1 sec. Mm,
Never apologize. Right,
as
anxiously
I
waiting you to get off mute.
There we go. As I, like, dribble tea down this sweatshirt that I've been wearing for a week straight. Um, yeah, I she hasn't said anything. I think she's just standing on this.
Hmm, okay, well, I mean, that's its own, I mean, never apologizing is its own kind of statement, right? So, I mean, if she's not responding or acknowledging any problems with what she said, like, okay, well, that's, I guess that's how she feels. And
I
her
think
daughter,
that's
how old is her daughter? Is she, like,
her
in
daughter just graduated from Stanford.
okay, so she's, like, in her mid-20s. Wow.
I know. I know, because I mean, look, I know a little bit about Usha Vance. I mean, the same stuff that everyone else does. She's a pretty private person. We do know that she was a very high-powered lawyer. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, she's an attorney, mhm.
And I I think that she made certain choices to, well, we know that she made certain choices to be by her husband's side as he pursued this nomination, and now they're in the White House, and she's pregnant with their fourth child, and it's a certain kind of step back that a very ambitious. I'm going to venture to guess that she's very ambitious, given where she went to Yale. Is that right? And
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they met at Yale.
they met at Yale. And then the places, the am I remembering that she was like a Supreme Court clerk or
Mhm. Yep.
yeah. And so you don't get those things, and you don't get into those institutions and get those jobs if you are not an ambitious person. Like, that doesn't just happen by accident, especially if you're an Indian American woman, a first generation person like Usha, like both of us. Um, to then, say like, okay, well, my husband has this opportunity, and I'm gonna take my career is gonna take a back seat as he gets to take full advantage of this opportunity. Perfectly, everyone has to do what makes sense for them and their family and their own calculus. But I guess what I'm just not understanding is, why is that aspirational? Why is it aspirational to and how, like, is that what would anyone teach their daughter to, hey, get the best grades, go to the best school, go to get the top the hardest internship that's possible to get like a position at a revered law firm, ascend the ladder as far as you can, and then marry someone and put all of that on hold, or on that, make all of that come second to being a mother and a wife.
And also, like, again, having not seen it, but, like, what about, like, the policies that the person that you are married to is, like, putting forward? What about all of the, like, devastation that, yeah. I mean, I know we said when we first started talking about this, we won't get too into, like, the political side of it, but yeah, very, very, like, very disturbing mentality, especially for someone who is in, like, her early 20s, just graduated from college, like, and is rooting the idea of, like, aspirational in the concept of her relate not just a relationship, but also a relationship with a person of a particular race. Like, that is just very weird.
I
Very weird.
find it's almost, it's like on par for me, like, to aspire to, like, marry rich. I'm not saying that that's a bad, like, if you do that, that it's a bad thing, but I kind of, actually, I don't know, in some way that's like, somehow that's like actually better to me, because money equals, like, class mobility equals, like, opportunity. Like, I get that, and especially if you are coming from a place where you don't have money, and you don't, and doors are closed to you because of it, then sure, I can understand that. I don't I don't understand I don't understand, yeah, the notion of aspiring to date or marry an American white man. I don't. It just
Well,
it really bothers me.
I don't think we're alone in this, because I think she really did get dragged on social media
Mhm.
by a lot of content creators for this very thing. And that was a comment her daughter made, but I think both of them got called out for a lot of the problematic things they said. And, like, yeah, it's as like, in general, it is just so problematic to speak about communities as monoliths, to, like, overgeneralize what I mean, and as for those of us, like, who grew up as, like, first generation or second generation immigrants, we know the stereotypes that would be, launched against us. Some of them were like model minority. They're really smart. They're gonna, be good academically.
Right.
Them were, oh, do you eat this kind of, assumptions about the food we eat, or the way that we dress, or the types of jobs that our parents have. And, like, yeah, it's old. We know so much more than that now. That's the kind of stuff that, like, should have ended, should have never happened, but certainly should have ended many, many years ago. And certainly it should be, like, kind of embraced by our community that's been on the receiving end of it. So yeah.
Yeah.
totally gross.
It's total yeah, and look, I wish them well. I wish that like, I don't I don't think that they should I certainly do not think that they should be canceled. I don't think that, I don't agree with cancel culture at all. I do think that if this is their platform and this is their, if they're if this is their thing, then you can take it or leave it. Like it's not my thing. Um, I don't I don't ascribe to what they're saying, and so I don't need to consume what they're doing. Absolutely fine. I do think that everyone should be allowed to have a voice and that in some ways there's an article that I read a while ago, and I'll link to it in the show notes. I think it was the New York Times Magazine that said it's almost like the true mark of a culture being sort of like ascendance is when people within that culture are allowed to make mediocre content and it doesn't negatively impact everyone. So,
Hmm.
for example, say, I'm trying to think like when the namesake came out, when Jhumpa Lahiri was in like one of 50 people's 50 most beautiful people, and it was like this is the Indian book. And like if that book hadn't been successful, there is like a generation of Indian writers, like myself included, who may not have gotten opportunities because it was like, oh, well, we published one Indian book and like it flopped. And of course, she's
Mhm.
not the first Indian American novelist. But I'm using that as an example to say, like, that's a wonderful piece of literature that paves the way for more pieces of literature that do not all have to be Pulitzer Prize winning
Right.
XYZ. Like we need to, that we can't just be the people who make the award winning things or like the best song or the best, like, not everything has to be the best. And I think that's great because it lowers the pressure and it allows for different interpretations and more voices to come through. Um, so you know what? Like, if they have people that are there are they still have millions of followers. There are people who are still watching and laughing and either unbothered or agreeing, or who knows? The
Or
country
don't
is
know.
diverse or
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be I mean, like I said, it's it was surprising to me that she didn't make a statement, but like you said, maybe she's just sort of standing on it and just either hoping that it'll blow over or, like just not feeling like compelled to address it. But I do appreciate in the same vein that there have been so many people who've spoken out and who've called it out in their analysis of it and why it's problematic. And yeah, I mean, this is how this stuff works, right? You say things and either you learn from them or you say it and you don't learn from it, and there will be people who stop enjoying her comedy or stop following her career, and like, that's obviously their choice to make too.
I mean, that am I Louis C.K., I believe, sold out Madison Square Garden like relatively recently after being
Really?
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So there's an audience for everyone. And take that as you will. Like that's reality.
Well, I a personal note to everyone is instead of watching her special, if you decided based on her positions you don't support Zona Garg anymore, I would recommend reading Incidental. It's it's much less problematic and much more entertaining.
Oh, well, that is a sound endorsement that I totally did not pay you to say. And, yeah, Incidentals comes out March 31st. If you haven't read my other books, you could pick up The Goddess Effect and Friends in Napa, available on Amazon or wherever you get your literature. But yeah, no, I'm really glad that you like the book. I mean,
Yeah.
there's like are there problematic parts of Incidentals? I mean, there are problematic characters for sure.
They're definitely your problematic characters. There are definitely some problematic moments. Um, yeah, but I think the thing I like about it too is, I mean, now that we're talking about like monolith, um, as far as like the Indian community goes, like I like that the characters are not so typical when it comes to the Indian community, and that you embrace like a very, um, yeah, just like embrace characters who have complicated, like all of us do, right? All humans do, like complicated, challenging aspects of their lives.
Yeah. Oh,
And
I'm glad. I'm glad. Yeah, no, they're all, I mean, all four of them, the two main characters in particular are very problematic. But pretty much everyone in that book is like, it's like y'all got some serious issues to work through,
I
which I
know.
think makes for very rich fiction. Of course, I'm biased since I wrote it, but I think happy,
Boring.
well-adjusted people are, yeah, like good. I like that in real life, but
Yeah.
not in my books.
Yeah, they're a little boring. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely not they definitely are boring. That's for sure. Yeah, I thought it was really, really, really good. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, well, I can't wait to have a book club plus event
Yeah.
sometime this year
Yeah.
and celebrate with you in Houston and
And book party in the Maldives.
yeah, book party in the Maldives. Oh my gosh, imagine the outfits.
Oh god,
Gosh.
I know. I need to start curating a newly or
Ooh, wait, are you're like officially newly no Rent
no
the
rent
Runway?
Yeah, I've been on the Newly train for like I've been on the Newly train. What did I say like that? But I've been doing Newly for like I think 2 years now. So it's been a minute.
Oh, my mom's saying hi. Hi, mom.
All right.
Um, wait, we should get your mom to watch live too next time, and they can
Yeah,
like chat with each other,
that's a
or
great.
or just
Yeah,
they can kind of be in the same room at the same time.
that's a great idea. I love that.
Okay, this was super fun. I love that we're doing this every week.
Yeah, this is great, and I hope that you relish your sunshine, beautiful weather. And I will text you if I need assistance, or just need photographs of the sun. That might be all.
Yeah, I hope you've got like good movies and books and TV and food. I'm sure you've got plenty of stuff to hunker down with over there.
Hunker down. This is a like an ingredients house. So I went to Costco and bought like actual like instantly edible snacks because I'm like we're not making like you open my parents' pantry, it's like lentils and rice and there are no snacks. So yeah, I went to Costco, got snacks.
Nice.
So we are ready.
Smart.
We are prepared.
Smart.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right. Well, stay safe, stay warm. Love you.
We love you too. Talk to you later. Bye. Thanks, guys.
Bye.